Ross Payton with Ludonarrative Dissidents here with our March 2026 live stream here with Greg Stolze and James Wallace. And we are surviving as best we can. And that's about all we can say these days, it seems like.
This year's been a son of a bitch, man.
Yep, it's not even April. But you know, I got some good news. I'm going to be playing in the Black Company RPG tonight. Caleb Stokes of Arc Dream Publishing is running it here in Springfield. Narrative.
Damn good times.
And I played it before, but I haven't played it recently, so I don't know what kind of changes we've made. So I get to make a weird little mercenary guy, and hopefully have him do something funny before he gets killed. We'll see. I almost got killed in the last playtest I was in. I played Krabs, a fisherman who learned a bit of folk magic and tried his best, and he was pretty good at shot with a crossbow. But other than that, things didn't work out too well for him. But you know, basically he's like, I'm fine. Then I got shot with a crossbow, and then I almost died. And that's how the Black Company works as an RPG.
Everybody thinks shields suck until their last thought is maybe shields don't actually suck.
Well, I didn't want to go with the Pavase, you know, like carry a giant shield and crossbow. I'll just carry a crossbow. I'll shoot them first. That'll be fine. And it's like, oh, well, there's more than one of them. Well, I'm screwed. So, so that's some RPG stuff we can talk about. But James, anything new on your end? I think we talked briefly about that. But yeah.
Kind of. I've a bunch of board game stuff, and I'm playtesting the new edition of The Magic of Inventorying from friend of the podcast, Callum, which was previously Paris Gondo, or a name similar to that, and The Magic of Inventorying. It's a role-playing game about being a fantasy party in a dungeon, and you need to arrange your inventory, basically. I believe the first edition did quite well, though I have not actually read it. Callum is the guy who also did the Carved from Brindlewood Rosewood Abbey game, which is the name of the rose, essentially. So I'm testing this next week, I think. That's my playtesting fun coming up. The only other thing that I'll mention that I'm going on is I and a group of friends are working through games from the 60s and 70s, what are known as the proto-Euros, board games that predate the German Renaissance of the 80s and 90s, but have clearly influenced it or prefigure it.
James, no. Before Wolfgang Bauer, there was The Void, and silence was upon the face of the deep.
Wolfgang Bauer or Wolfgang Kramer? Or
I just picked a name at random, man. I don't know.
One of them
Wolfgang. Sounds smart.
They blur. Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. There's games like Crude, it's a game about the oil industry, which was self-published in the UK in the 70s and made no great impression until somebody in Germany just went, well, I'm going to publish it. I don't have the rights. I'm just going to do it. And it was a big hit over there. It's known as McMulty. And there was trouble, but stuff like that. So we're working through that. It's really interesting because a lot of these games, they've got brilliant ideas and they're still fun, but they are what feel these days like rough edges. But I remember I did play some of them at the time, like Railway Rivals, which won the Spiel des Jahres in 1985 and then went out of print in English and has been out of print in English ever since because of reasons. And this was one of my games.
You can't just say reasons like that, James. We're going to assume that the author burned down a mosque or something.
No, it's nothing as complex as that. The author sold the rights to somebody who was going to do a big fancy edition, and then actually Games Workshop did the 1984 and 1985 edition, and then moved away from board games. He then sold the rights again to a different publisher who sat on them and went bust, and then he sold them again to actually an old friend of mine who has sat on the rights for something over 20 years and is not interested in doing anything with them, which is a crying shame. And one of my, when I get past my current workload, one of my crusades is going to be getting Railway Rivals back into print, because it's a cracking game. It's really good. Though, to modern sensibilities, there are a couple of little rough bits that don't quite work. Also, it was designed like a lot of 70s, 80s games from the 70s in particular. You know, games hobbyists clearly had a lot of time, and the average game length was about 2.5, 3 hours. And that really needs to be cut down. These days, anything over 90 minutes is just...
So you would be doing a new version of Railway Rivals.
It would be, yes, it would be a more elegant version.
Okay.
I mean, David Watts was the original designer, a brilliant... He was a geography teacher. He created the game to teach his students where places were on a map by connecting them. Though it's actually remarkably good. You are competing rail companies trying to build the best routes.
Sure.
And just as actually happened in, you know, sometimes you're running your tracks in parallel, and sometimes you're doing weird little kind of loopy bits around to avoid someone else's track. It's a hoot. It's a delightful game. It's one of the first crayon rail games as well. One of the first games where you draw on the map.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I found a review of it. Yeah.
Picturing Ticket to Ride like the bad cop in Training Day. Are you coming to my house? You're coming here where I live to make a train game?
Well, it's funny you should say that, because when I was working for Asmodee, I did a full presentation.
It actually was Denzel Washington who yelled at me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I did a presentation for you know, my line manager and a couple of others, going, look, we could get the rights to a Spiel des Jahres winning game for very little money comparatively, and they were like, but we have a train game. Why would we do another train game that would compete against our first train game? It's like, because then we could own train games. Basically, we would have the 2 or 3 best train games on the market, and no one else would bother. And they were like, no, I don't think so.
They underestimated the appeal of train games. Like they should have
realized
that's the key thing. It's trains, then zombies, and then fantasy. Those are the
pretty much zombies on trains, and you've nailed the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was who was it? The guy who was winning an Origins award and couldn't be bothered to come to the ceremony because he was playing a train game. It was
Sean Penn.
Yeah, probably. We do have a comment in here. I wonder if James feels like old board games solve things that people keep solving today, sort of like TTRPG discussions sometimes seem to never change. I certainly can see that.
To an extent. I think actually a lot of the solved problems in board games are solved and are demonstrably solved, and there's no board game equivalent of the OSR. There's no one going, no, we should get Monopoly's fine the way it was. Very, very few people are actually saying that, apart from Hasbro. And weird Monopoly fans who have like, yes, I have 80 different copies of Monopoly and nothing else.
That's Monopoly as cultural item, right?
Yeah. But people do play it, and they play it as
like
written.
A fetish.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, once you've discovered better games, you just go, oh, games are better now. Games have just, you know, it's the equivalent of classic cars. And I've used this analogy before talking about RPGs. You know, yes, there are people who would really like to, you know, love driving a 1970s Ford Escort, not Ford, Ford Capri or something like that. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And hats off to them. And if they're going to put in the time to keep it running, wonderful. I will drive a modern car. Thank you very much.
I got to tell you about modern cars. You know what has ruined me?
Rear view cameras,
seat warmers.
I was going to say you're fucking president, but
Ew. I mean, for me, it's been rear view cameras.
Me personally, not us collectively.
Yeah. Seat warmers.
Yeah, when I saw that our new car had this, I'm like, this is decadence undreamed of by Caligula. What kind of person needs their bottom warmed by their car? And then driving around in Wisconsin, I got up one morning, I'm like, well, I'll try this out just to see what all the fuss is about. And now I'm like, man, how did I even
You can't go
live?
back. Yeah.
I can't go back. You can't
Um,
make me go back to those cold ass cars.
Well, I hope you didn't get a BMW, Greg, because BMW I don't know if you heard, but they've for their newer cars, the seat warmer is a subscription option for many BMW cars. You have to pay a monthly fee to have it activated. I also
And
saw,
you just got
yeah.
they gotta be there's gotta be people working on jailbreaking that shit.
Oh, sure. But I mean, then you could break your car. Like yeah, a real cyberpunk dystopia. You break your car because you tried to jailbreak it. Ford is announcing a new electric vehicle that's supposed to be the Mach E that has a frunk, which is a front trunk, but that's you have to pay.
I know what a frunk is, Ross.
Okay. Well, just assume, but you have to pay extra.
We would call it a fruit, of course. It would be a front boot.
Yeah. The frunk is also, you have to pay extra to have it open. Otherwise, they'll seal it at the factory.
It's my sympathy for the Ford Capri guys is really growing. I have to say.
Yeah. So
this is gonna end in blood. They are just there's a tipping point where people are just going to say, wait a minute, we've been misused badly by these people we've been giving money to buy their shit, and it's gonna explode. It's gonna make guillotines look like a pedicure.
One would hope.
Yeah, but then the guillotines will have a subscription on them as well, and then there'll be more trouble.
I mean, we don't really see that as much in RPGs, but people keep trying. Like, I think
to make them rental properties.
Yeah, I think I don't know if this is going to be the latest thing, but like, I've been thinking about backing this the Godzilla RPG, which is from IDW Games and has some really good names on it. And where you don't play you could play certain scenarios as the kaiju, or you play as people. I think Gav Thorpe is actually one of the writers.
Gav is involved. Yeah.
Jervis Johnson, Mark Latham, all talented designers and writers. The problem is that the digital version of this book will not be a PDF. It's through a app that you can get on your
IDW. I think.
Yeah, IDW. Yeah, I'm trying to
that proprietary app.
Digital core book hosted on the IDW Digital Comic Experience for iOS and Android only, so not even on the PCs.
I give that precisely 2.5 hours before someone has ripped it and put it up on the usual sites.
Yeah, I mean that's 100% true, but like. And of course, yeah, we're talking about I'm mentioning this, but when there's D&D Beyond with the live service thing, which I would not try and run 5e without it, because I played in a 5e campaign last year that's currently going up on RPG Actual Play, and just the amount of bookkeeping our GM had to do was just like, ugh, and we were like playing it like 3rd to like 8th level. And so
but I'm sure it will soon be amplified by AI that will do everything your GM does.
Well,
there'll be a slider bar for how much you want to the GM to mess with you, and then at first how often will funny little guys with weird voices show up. That'll start out real low, but pretty soon they're like, why did this start at 2? Everybody I know cracked that to 10 immediately.
You want your funny guys with funny voices. Like that's the key. Guys with funny voices.
Except that the AI voices won't be quality. They'll be too good. It'll sound like some English actor declaiming. It won't sound like a nasally voiced Midwest weirdo trying to sound like an English actor declaiming, with the accent just climbing all over the UK, and it's like,
and saying ye too much as well.
You were Scottish 2 syllables ago, and now you're Irish. What the hell, man?
Yeah. Trouble is, English actors do that as well. If you know what you're listening for, Geordie. Most of them kind of lapse. They go from Scottish into Geordie and back again quite a lot.
Yeah,
but
the guy from Star Trek: The Next Generation. What?
But Greg, what have you been up to?
Professionally, what I've been up to, I've been screwing around with Thomas Jefferson Speedway Hell. I talked to you guys about this, right? You partially inspired it. We were talking about how... Why would you do that to me? Why would you make me want to write a game, James? You better than anyone else should know the impact that kind of thing can have on a life.
Oh.
But yeah, we were talking about how, is there a role-playing game with really great chase or race mechanics? And couldn't really think of one. And I'm like, well, so did I talk about this on here? Have I
briefly, but not recently.
So, in the book, The 100 Best Video Games That Never Existed by Nate Crowley, one of them is Extreme Disquiet Race. Is he as cool as his
we've
books
spoken? We've spoken on occasion.
Okay.
Right? Yes, we're not like
all right.
buddies. We were on a Minecraft server together.
Well, all right. So that's like serving in the army, man. But anyway,
I have met him in person.
One of the games was Extreme Disquiet Racing, where you were racing these hideous biomechanical cars that were clearly in terrible suffering. And, you would get close to it, and when you moused over at this horrible, let's race. And if you won with that car, then it would get taken out to the garage and humanely shot. So the overarching goal of the game was to win with all the cars so that they would all die and the game would deinstall itself. And so that was living rent-free in my brain. And I'm like, oh, so we need to... I need an excuse for there to be a lot of racing where it's... And I'm like, oh, we'll set it in hell with Extreme Disquiet cars. And then, the third leg of it. Okay, so racing, bizarre hell jokes, and let's put in historical figures because, everyone wants to joke about who's in hell, right? So...
work for Dante. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm digging deep in the Dante mines, but, I'm sure once I get to... the Circle of Wrath, I will have the Waffle House jokes going. I've mentioned how the virtuous pagans get better food than anyone else. So if you hang out in limbo, you might be able to score a stale pack of Pringles or some slightly used ring dings. And that then if you take these... just a little squishy, but it's still good. It's still the original wrapper.
I mean, used food does not sound very appetizing.
That's what everyone else everywhere else in hell has to eat some of the time. So yeah, and so I'm having fun. I'm writing just dumb joke after dumb joke. I will eventually have to go through and make the jokes dumber and more frequent.
Oh sure,
but
yeah.
Oh, James, can I rewind? 12 minutes to when you were talking about why would we pick up a train game? We have a train game. Why would we compete against ourselves? And this does not make sense to me because if you showed me two people and you're like, okay, Bill here owns a train game and Jeremy here does not own a train game. Guess which one of these two people is more likely to buy a new train game? I would bet heavily on Bill. I would bet on Bill.
This was kind of my logic, but it was not, Asmodee is very much about, or at least the bit of Asmodee that I was working with, Asmodee UK, they're primarily distributors and they were very much about getting stuff into supermarkets and high street stores for people who are not already habitually board gamers. For whom the idea of buying one new board game a year is that's quite a lot of board games. So yeah, it did not work for them, and I was genuinely quite frustrated by this. But I'm going to jump back and go. I'm going to jump back to Thomas Jefferson and stuff because I think that's one of those ideas that has got into your head, and you now need to get it out of your head by writing it. I've got one of those as well, and I think it was spurred by something on the Ludonarrative Discord. And it's Rattle Tech, not Cattle Tech. It's Rattle Tech, which is, I've forgotten my tagline. Oh yes, it's Basically, I won't go through the tagline. Essentially, it's BattleTech, but it's Ratatouille, and you're playing the rats,
Oh, right.
steering the chefs, or they're not just chefs. If your job involves wearing a hat, there's a rat under the hat. And, and as with BattleTech, heat buildup underneath the hat is a problem. So you're going to have to get rid of the heat, dump the heat, or you're going to cook under that. I still don't quite know what it is. I've got some mechanics, so I've kind of got a system that works mechanically, and I don't want to just go, well, it's chefs fighting police people, or which I'd probably play that regardless.
Man, those British police hats, you could fit a badger under there.
Oh, don't give me more ideas, please.
I will never stop giving you ideas, James. It's payback.
Yes. So anyway, so I have another one of those kind of, I always have one of these kind of troll-like ideas sitting in the back of my head going, you could do some work, or you could think about this instead. That was why I finally wrote Cyberpunk. It's because it wasn't Cyberpunk, which was going to be a half-page show. It was going to be a Dread parody, and then turned into a proper game.
Yeah, this is how you kill a mech. Kill the pilot. This is a well-known principle. I love the idea. I think the Ratatouille idea in general has been underexplored. It was featured in Everywhere, Nowhere,
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah. But other than that, movie. It was great movie.
Ratatouille, which was such a good joke. Such a good joke of the mother who can't remember the name of the film, right? And then they just run with it. If you haven't seen, dear listeners, if you haven't seen Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, you are too late. Many of the jokes are already spoiled for you, though you don't realize it, but you should still watch it because it just goes so many places you would never dream an Oscar-winning movie would go.
Yeah, for sure.
The thing that impresses me about Everything, Everywhere, All at Once is I'm like, okay, I'm watching this, and I can understand that, yes, the actors involved are extremely good, and yes, the cinematography is really on point, and the design is splendid, and that the script is very strong. And I'm looking at all these things, I'm like, they're doing everything right, and yet they're still better than they should be. There is some weird synergy that just really elevates it. I'm like, how can this be better than everything being right? I don't get it.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It is like that sometimes. I kind of want to go back to your racing RPG idea because Greg, because an idea that just popped in my head, and one of my minor obsessions is the Barkley Marathon, which I'm not sure if you're have you either of you heard of this before?
No.
Okay.
It's not the thing where they roll the cheese down the hill, is it?
Oh no, this is perhaps the most difficult ultra marathon trail race in the history of the world. It's been run since 1995 and has only been completed 26 times by 20 runners, and about 40 or 50
years.
Yes, in 30 years. The course, which varies year to year, consists of 5 loops of 20 miles for a total of 100 miles over 60 hours. It's held between February and early April of each year, and it's in the Frozen Head State Park in Tennessee, so it's extremely mountainous. And so the amount of elevation you go through is about 26,000 feet worth of climbing in a 24-hour period. And the first 3 loops are just called the fun run. And so in order to 100% complete it, you have to get 5 loops. And the way you do this is they give you every year there's a book, and you're given a page number and they hide 12 copies of this book throughout the the course. And like they say, your number is 50, so you have to get page 50 from each copy of that book. Or I think it's 12 different books each time, but you have to get page 50 from each book, and they're hidden. So you have to have orienteering, and so you have to find them and make sure you don't miss each of these pages. So there's no tech stuff involved. It's been the same implementation the same way, but there's a really good documentary about it called Barkley Marathon: The Race That Eats Its Young. And the registration is extremely eccentric. You just have to pay like a $1.60 fee, and then give them a license plate where you're from. And people come from around the world to do this. And sometimes it's extremely hot, sometimes it's extremely cold. And it's the start time varies each day from 11 p.m. to 11 a.m. It's almost like you're at the edge of what humans can do, I think.
Sure.
And so imagine you're also running up and down the Tennessee mountains for 60 hours. And like the fastest person has done like 56 hours. And so you have to, and you only have like 60 hours to do this. So you're basically running continuously for this entire time.
Yes.
And
I mean, this is Diana Nyad shit where, after 48 hours, everyone in that is hallucinating. I mean, there's just no way to do that and not be off your nut.
And the terrain is brutal. Like there are briars and thorns that cut the hell out of people. And if the water's bad,
sounds perverse.
It's just incredibly brutal. And so,
I mean, there's always been a heavy masochistic streak to extreme running.
Like I was just going to say, looking at the Wikipedia page, I love it's the ultimate middle-aged white guy reason for this thing existing, which is that in 1977, James Earl Ray, who shot Martin Luther King, was imprisoned nearby and escaped for 54 hours, but was only able to cover 8 miles. And this guy, one of the founders, Gary Cantrell, heard about this and went, well, I could do at least 100 miles in that time. And hence the marathon was born. It's just, God, it's like the people who think, yeah, I could take down a bear, or I could beat Serena Williams.
I could return Serena Williams.
You could not. 20 people in however many years have managed to do this thing. You are not, and they were
they're probably only human on a technicality.
Oh yeah,
I mean, they're probably freaky mutants. They're like, oh yeah, if you look at the labs for this guy's lungs, he has more in common with some kind of fish than with a human being. It's really weird. The oxygen intake is normal, but okay. Yeah. What was the Idris Elba hosted documentary TV show where they did assorted weird, crazy sports, and one of them was a marathon through the Sahara.
Oh,
and and he followed this woman who is one-legged, so she's trying to complete this marathon across one of the most inhospitable places on Earth, and she doesn't do it, and you can tell the documentarians are a little disappointed that they're like, man, if she'd managed to finish that would have been so uplifting. We would have gotten awards.
I'm hardly uplifted, yeah. So there's also the guy who runs it. They always pick at least one person. If you apply and you get in, you get a letter of condolence. And then at least one person is the human sacrifice that they believe will have no chance of finishing the race. And if the first time you're doing, you have to bring a license plate, and then you have to bring something else, which is like socks or a shirt or something like that, which he just, he needs some socks. So he just will ask everyone to bring socks. But this whole thing for me, yeah. My initial impression of this was like, this is like a ritual for an unknown army style adept.
What I was going to say was when you said, oh yeah, he bring him some shirts or socks because he needs shirts and socks. I'm like, oh, so this is in my mind just transformed from the most brutal and cruel of sports to the most benign of cults. Everyone's there their own free will, and they're allowed to go home afterwards. You don't have to break up with your friends.
So yeah, the main thing is, like I said, there's a documentary where they interview a lot of the people who do this, and they're almost always like, a lot of them have like masters or PhDs in like engineering. They're very accomplished, very smart people, and they're like, it really attracts these type A personalities, people who are used to like anything they do, they accomplish. You're just 100% focused, very smart, very incredibly driven, and now they find something that like maybe. My personal theory is that sometimes people just can't do it because the weather is too bad. Like, it's just not physically possible. Like, the weather has to be a certain like level. If it's too cold or too hot, like, it's not possible for a human to do this. But like, yeah, the race that has been referred to as a satanic running adventure. It is considered a countercultural event due to its low monetary cost and its eccentricities. And like, part of the course usually goes right next to the prison where James Earl Ray was held, and like you run through this underground storm drain through it. So it's so the documentary is really good. So I would do some sort of RPG or campaign. Probably my first guess would be Unknown Armies. Like, what is the occult reason for doing this? Like, but like, I think that would be a weird countercultural marathon ultra event of some kind would be very fun. Because I think yeah, sports in general has been underexplored in tabletop role playing games, and especially like eccentric and weird ones like this and like sumo. Sumo is like, you know, technically a traditional, you know, a festival, like a religious ritual, not like a sport as we understand it.
But
yeah, so
I've talked about Intacto on here, right?
The Lug Vampires,
actually on episodes, I think, rather than on a live stream. But yes,
because you know, one of the tests of luck they have is, okay, we're going to tie your hands behind your back and blindfold you, and you're going to run through a forest. And you just see these people wiping out and impaling themselves on chunks of, it's gnarly. Yeah. It's a great piece of filmmaking, because I'm like, this is very tense. I'm very tense watching this. This is building up. I feel suspense. So yeah, but yeah, there was X-Crawl, which was a mixture of dungeon crawling and wrestling. I'm sorry, wrestling.
I think it was more like there've
been a number of wrestling games.
Yeah, I don't think it was wrestling per se. I think it was more like the Running Man style.
Reality TV. That was it. X-Crawl. So, but yeah, I mean, sports. It feels like at the beginning, at the genesis of gaming culture, a lot of people who were doing sports are like, gaming is bad and not for me. And a lot of people who were doing gaming were like, sports is bad and not for me. And that has just kind of continued on past any conceivable useful point. It's like, no, man, your high school quarterback is probably playing Dungeons and Dragons. He's probably played it at least once. He probably does not have any animus against it or understand why he would.
Yep.
So do sports.
I do love the X-Crawl reboot from Goodman Games, because I mean, just for this cover art for some of these,
that's great.
Tropical Cataclysm. I do like the Goodman Games aesthetic of like 1970s style gonzo fantasy of like, let's throw in modern day and sci-fi elements in here. It don't matter. It all works. It's just reskinning different monsters. Gatorade.
There's loads of ways you could cross the things over. I mean, the Harlem Globetrotters, obviously, with an Adventure of the Week format in a different venue. But then you've also got characters from turn of the century literature, like I'm thinking of A.J. Raffles, the gentleman thief, who was, I don't know if you're familiar with the character of Raffles.
I have very slightly.
He was very well to do. He was had been to a good school. He's a professional cricketer. He plays cricket enormously well, which allows him to visit various places and rob people. Quite usually people who deserve to be robbed. Also, he has a companion who goes everywhere with him, and they are quite blatantly gay, given that these are written literally in around 1900.
Bunny, yeah.
Bunny, yeah. It's that blatant.
Yeah.
They're great stories. I recommend them, and they're all in the public domain, so you can pick them up on Gutenberg.
Sweet.
And they're not a long read, but that thinking mechanically of a way that you can combine the skills to be extremely good at cricket, and those are catching, throwing, hitting things extremely hard, but also with precision. That would combine into a fairly useful set of kind of adventuring skills. It doesn't have to be robbing country houses or London houses or ambassadors' residences. But yeah, now I've got another brain troll for doing the raffles. Actually, I'm sure Marcus Rowland probably did. Marcus took a lot of he was one of the great
Forgotten Futures guy, right?
The Forgotten Futures guy. Took a lot of out-of-print works and did role-playing versions based on them in the early days of digital documents and shareware, essentially. They were pretty much shareware. Lovely, lovely man. Was writing for White Dwarf in the early 80s and is still around. I saw him very briefly at Dragonmeet. So he's still on the scene. But I'm sure he's done something with raffles at some point. That doesn't mean I can't, of course, because that's the nature of the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about the art assets.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know what? So what you should do, if you're going to do public domain stuff, is to make it, you should do public domain slasher flick or public domain slasher flick edition, because that's the current trend now, is to take every new public domain character and make a slasher flick Winnie. It started with Winnie the Pooh, but I've seen with Popeye, I've seen with Mickey Mouse. I saw one with Tin Man, a trailer for that like a week ago. I mean, it's just people. It's like, oh, that's the new thing. People will pay attention to us if we take this public domain character. So. So you got to figure out. So that's the gimmick. That's how you get people to pay attention on it. Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
I'm just now picturing these three meatheads in the woods being chased by a guy with a saber, and it is just the most bog standard imaginable derivative slasher movie, except for the fact that their names are Porthos, Athos, and Aramis.
Oh.
Porthos, dude, bro, no. Oh God, he got Aramis in the dick, dude.
Yeah, I feel like taking public domain stuff and casting it in the lens of a contemporary genre is there's a lot of room there. Not just man.
Really, you think that turning the Three Musketeers into a slasher movie, you really think that juice is worth that squeeze?
I mean, slasher flicks are cheap to make, Greg. And all you need is to get people to watch your streaming thing enough to get your fee or to rent it on demand or whatever. And of course, then you could do a luxury a limited edition Blu-ray for the hardcore horror fans. I mean, it's
Yeah, you get the actors. Oh yes. Well, I've classically trained, and in fact, I attended the Sorbonne for a theater, and so, amusingly, I was in a theatrical adaptation of The Three Musketeers, or as we call it in France, Le Trois. Oh, wait, I have to put my jockstrap back on my head for the next shot.
I think you're overestimating the casting budget for these films, Greg. I think it's more like we're going to go to the nearest community theater, and anybody who needs $100 a day for the next 2 weeks.
Hey,
are
you allergic to stage blood?
Yeah. Well, that's sad. I didn't hear that. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, get in the syrup. So that could be fun. Yeah. But I am of course. Yeah, sorry, James.
No, I was just going to veer back onto the subject of games and stuff.
Oh yeah,
we told people we'd talk about.
Yeah.
I have an anecdote. I had 2 calls back to back on Monday, And the first was with, you remember a couple of live streams ago, I raved about Architerica, the
yes.
Ukrainian
Yes.
magic realist 19th century occult conspiracy role-playing game. Still nuts about it, with him talking about, potential distribution opportunities. And, it's a country at war, and he's part of the military because pretty much every male of workable age is over there.
Gotta.
And then I had a call with Chris from, I'm sure I can say these things, Chris from Ninth Level Games, who I'm doing a thing with at the moment. And I said, Chris, I didn't know I heard you'd got a Ukrainian publisher for Kobolds Ate My Baby. He went, yeah, they're working on the edition, should be out right now. I said, apparently not. Apparently the factory and your entire print run have been destroyed by Russian artillery. Because there's one principal town in Ukraine that does all of the printing, and it's 20 miles from the front line, and they got shelled. And so if you're waiting for the Russian edition, the Ukrainian edition of Kobolds Ate My Baby, there may be a delay because the entire print run's been written off.
I mean, this just seems petty. God,
yeah, I don't think that was the target.
Yeah,
but it's like fate. You would think fate would decree that there was one small thing that was, that was going to be off limits to Putin ruining it. But no, nothing.
No. Yep.
Yes. Also, thank you for putting that up, Ross, because I just realized I have been misspelling Architerica in every single email I've sent him.
Cool. Cool, dude.
It's not the easiest word to spell. I'll give you that. Like,
wait, is that a live action like trailer video at the bottom?
I think they've done live action versions. I think the game has been around in Ukraine for a while. It's only the English language version that is new, and they are understandably having problems actually getting physical copies to market. You can find them in the UK. I don't think they're available anywhere in the US.
Yeah, it looks, wow, they do have a live action thing. Yeah, that's very cool.
Yoicks.
Yeah. Well, it's on their website, so I'll put a link in the comments so people can watch it at their leisure. But yeah, I'll have to watch that later. Cool. Yeah, it is a game that has caught my interest after you mentioned it, so I would like to check it out in person at some point, but add it to the queue of games to play. So
your ever-growing TBP pile.
I'm trying to work on it, but it's slow. It's slow work. Every time I play one game, get 2 new games. And then see how that works out. And one of the things that's been eating my time is actually Slay the Spire 2, which
it's so good.
You've been playing that.
Did I tell you guys about, so I'm on my morning accountability call with other freelancers, right? And one of them's like, oh yeah, so Slay the Spire 2 just dropped, and I'm like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, well, if you're in the middle of something, let me just say, it's not very good. It's pretty disappointing. We waited this long for it, and it's okay. But I'm like, really? It's really not that. He's like, oh no, I'm lying to you. I'm trying to keep you productive. It's great. It sucked like 3 hours off of my life yesterday. I regret nothing.
Overwhelmingly positive, 28,000 good reviews already. It beat Marathon and other big. It's like the 3rd or 4th most played game on Steam right when it launched, like over 570,000 concurrent players. It's ridiculous. One of the things, it has multiplayer in it too. Yeah. So are you played? Yeah.
I haven't tried multiplayer yet, but Starhead Dude or Skeleton Girl.
I mean, I love them both. Really, the only character I don't. I mean, in terms of like my tier list, my preference of player characters at the bottom is the Defect. I don't like the or robot guy.
Really?
Yeah. Second is Ironclad. I just don't seem to have good luck with him. The sword guy.
Well, the problem with that is that I always call him the ironic lad, just as a sign of my contempt. Yeah, the problem is he sucks.
Yeah, well, you could do infinite builds with him apparently more easily with other characters, but I'm not like really into doing infinite.
I mean,
moves.
you can do you can especially in the first Slay the Spire, the
Yeah.
stonks build where it's just like
They're-
more strength and everything that makes your strength get bigger faster, and suddenly
Yeah,
you've got strength 162.
After
It's
that,
fun,
I think the region. I haven't played the region as much. I've only gotten to Ascension 1 with the region, it's been fine. Second would be the Necrobinder, the new Necromancer with a giant skeletal hand. And then my top character though right now is the Silent, because I love Shiv builds where you just summon infinite summon knives and throw them and keep throwing
Shiv
them.
build is fun until you meet B Guy.
I beat B Guy. It's fine. You just have to not like make the shivs do a lot of damage each, so you're and just have the ability to draw a lot of cards, so you can deal with all the ethereal cards that you get. The reason I bring this up, is video games a little off topic, but I really a friend of mine has a copy of the board game, and I really want to play the board game now because that is supposed to be a pretty good translation of the original game. It is a co-op thing, so you play it with multiple people going into that. So I'm real interested to see how the board game varies from the first game to the second game, and I want to try the multiplayer for the second game as well. I've heard that's really fun because there's like co-op only cards. So I've been losing a bit of time this week because of Slay the Spire 2. But it is, I multi-screen. I watch that while I'm catching up with the sumo tournament. I've gotten into sumo a bit.
I've been playing Slay the Spire 2 while I listen to other podcasts. That's right, Ross. I've been cheating on you.
Oh my god! Look, it's fine. We are in an open podcast relationship. It's fine. So that's in terms of games. Let's see here. We're going to be playing Black Company. I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast. I'm going to be trying to play James's game sometime soon.
Oh god!
Yeah.
Which one? Cyberplunk. Okay.
Yeah, I got something special planned for that, so we'll see how that goes. And then what else? I
got to play the old Cuphead board / dice game.
There's a Cuphead board game?
Wow.
Or Cuphead dice game.
Cuphead. Okay. Fast rolling dice game. Okay.
So a friend just showed up with it at games night at the library, and it was okay until we got to the end and realized we'd been playing it wrong the whole time, because we got through like the first enemy just like barely, skin of our teeth, and it grades you on how well you did, and we got an F.
Yeah.
And then we're like, wow, this is really hard. And then we're looking through it like, wait, these black dice, we were supposed to be rolling these too?
Uh-oh.
Oh wow.
So
slick. A really good look.
It is slickly produced.
It's the OP who have loads of money. Came out in 2021. Best of luck getting a hold of a copy today. The cheapest one secondhand on Board Game Geek is €120.
Woo!
I'll have to tell my friend.
Yeah.
See if she doesn't like it that much.
Man.
All the secret sealed envelopes in it are still sealed and secret.
Ooh. One of the things that's not like super surprising, but it's interesting to see how the Looney Tunes 1930 classic cartoon look has really remained popular from the last like 5 to 10 years, and in fact I think it's getting more popular because like Cuphead I think helped popularize it, but there's a whole wave of video games coming out with it and TV shows. I don't know about movies, but like it seems a lot of new media is adopting this aesthetic, and I find that there's an RPG, Hell of a Town, that I mentioned before on this podcast that I demoed at Gen Con last year.
All right, well, let's analyze. Why would this work? I mean, my immediate thoughts are that it is not a highly specialized type of illustration, and that probably a lot of people who are illustrators or cartoonists have at least messed around with it. That if you went to John Alliston from Giant Days and asked him to draw something in this style, he could do it. I mean, it's not his style, but he could fake it. And that there are probably a lot of people who got really, really into it and, had early experiences with Tijuana Bibles or whatever, and are like, no, this is part of my deep identity here. And yeah, that it doesn't require if you wanted to make your game's aesthetic oil paintings in the style of the Dutch masters, that would be a much higher barrier to surmount than, well, I want it to look like those cartoons where the arms are hosies.
Yeah. I think
it makes a lot of sense.
It's an artifact of the nature of the animation. It's big faces, very expressive, you can understand, you can see the expression very simply. It's a style that was easy to animate in the 20s and 30s and remains that way, particularly with digital tools. It's immediately accessible. There are video games, incidentally, that do stuff with, the old masters and Bruegels and stuff like that, but they do it in the Terry Gilliam kind of cutout way. So it'll be a static background and this figure will move along, but will not turn or, it's, and they're great. They're really funny, and I'm completely blanking on any of the names, but there are some really, really great games that do that stuff. I think this is almost similar to that. It's expressive without it. There's no trace of realism to it. So it was designed for low frame rates. It was designed for, stuff that beginners can get right fairly easily. And I think it still conveys that stuff really well.
Well, and in gaming, I mean, one of, I think, the early non-D&D games that was really that showed people, okay, yeah, no, you can do stuff that's really different, was Toon, right? And so that, again, we're talking about the early DNA, the genesis of gaming. And, so there have been people playing Toon since, James, how long have they been playing Toon?
Toon was, I think, 84 or it could have been 83, 84, I think.
Yeah. So a while. And so, yeah, it's not that far to get to the, the alternate universe where there's an old school Toon movement gaming.
Yeah.
And they kickstarted a new Toon quite recently. So, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Why would they not?
Yeah. Fair enough. So it's just I keep seeing it pop up, and it just seems to be thriving as an aesthetic. And it's it's not
to them.
No, I mean, it's working for
as
them.
long as you don't use AI to do it. And and it feels like something where you wouldn't need to. Really, I mean, you never need to use LLMs to get an illustration. Yeah, there's
but
the barriers to getting that type of art done seem lower than other types of art, and I say that as a compliment. That it's it's achievable.
It's not quite the same, but like your comments, James, did remind me of Pentiment, which is
yes, that's one of the ones I was trying to recall.
Yeah, a very well illustrated or made game that is set to look like the illustrated manuscripts of the Middle Ages. And I know Caleb has played it and he really liked it, but it's more of a storytelling game. Like there's a lot of dialogue and descriptions of like a very intricate story and very I mean, I guess that's one of the things that helps sort of establish. And there's also another game like that, or using the same aesthetic, that was like a tower defense thing. I think it was called like Inca Illuminati, something like that. Yeah, it's just I guess part of the thing to get noticed today is you really have to establish a very strong visual look in order to get people to pay attention to you, to stand out in a very crowded market. So, which applies to role-playing games too. Yeah, like Merkborg and games like that.
I'm thinking about the early Wii, which the ones from that are Okami and De Blob are the games that I immediately associate with it.
Okami was a GameCube game originally.
Yeah, Okami was such a perfect match for that system because it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna use it like a brush and use your special brush abilities. Whereas De Blob just had, I liked its graphic identity. It was just like blurb. So, and Okami, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Beautiful game.
Very beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, this applies to tabletop RPGs because I mean, like we mentioned Merkborg as being able to stand out because of his aesthetic, and certainly a lot of indie RPGs. Like what are some indie RPGs that have really strong aesthetics that have like? Really,
I mean,
Merkborg for sure. Lancer, I think would definitely qualify. I
think Heart and Spire.
Oh, Heart.
I think their graphic identity is really, really strong. Back in the day, Hole, if you remember Hole, which was
Human Occupied Land. Yeah,
Human Occupied Landfill,
which is nuts.
Yeah.
Very, very funny. Completely unplayable, but didn't matter because you got your value for money reading bits of it out loud to your friends and just laughing and laughing.
Yeah. Black Dog Games. Oh yeah, just a classic. Look at that. So
it was
self-published originally, and then Black Dog, which was part of White Wolf, took it on. It was White Wolf's edgy imprint.
Yeah, just
and
peak 90s.
This game made a lot of fun of the White Wolf guys. So like, no, we get it. No, that shit is funny.
Yes, Hole had a follow-up supplement, Buttery Wholesomeness. Yes, I think I've got it somewhere. I still have my original copy of Hole as well. Yeah.
Oh, and someone's calling out. Hold on.
Someone in his house is literally heckling him while he's on a live stream. Wow. This is why I work in a shed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. So our takeaway for this entire live stream has been like, make sure your game has a not have it. I think a distinctive look is better than like a professional look that looks like something else, like a knockoff. Like a well-made knockoff is less valuable than a very original aesthetic that like works with the game's themes. Like,
I'm doing my own illustrations for TJ Speedway because I'm probably going to self-publish it, and it's all just photo montage of like Augusto Pinochet's face and sash of office over a motorcycle outfit, and then a different motorcycle helmet on his head, and just rains of fire and figures from Gustave Doré in the background, and Hieronymus Bosch.
Oh yeah,
just assorted little Hieronymus Bosch dudes.
Like I think for you, Greg, like something like maybe a punk zine look, like something like that, like a little. That's going to be very eye catching, I think. Recently, as an experiment, and this is something I want to explore more, but with like 3D printed models or something like that, is I took some Warhammer minis from a friend and shot them with cinematic lighting. And I think like if I could do this with something that like something that would
the rights to,
exactly, that could really work. But like as an experiment, I think this worked. Like somebody called this is like, oh, this is like a Cathedral in a Fritz Lang movie. It's like, oh, okay, yes, I should lead into that. So I just need to figure something else like that out. Something to think about.
I mean, it would be very the hard part would be that you would need to get minis where you have the rights to use them.
Well, that's with 3D printing. That's not too hard to do. Like I could just get there's public domain, or there's if they're generic figures, if they're just person or whatever, or they're like creatures that I made that I commission an artist to make a 3D model of, then I 3D print it, and then I yeah. So it's something I've been thinking about, but like as a little side project or something like that. But yeah, obviously I can't just I mean, this is a fun as a learning photography and lighting.
Yeah, so that would be you wouldn't be actually animating it like
no, it would be photography.
Yeah,
because I've been practicing photography. Like I don't know how to do animation. Like that's yeah. But I can't take photos.
Ross, do you have a talent we're unaware of, and that you just haven't been doing animation because you don't want to starve to death and be miserable like every animator I've ever heard of?
Well, I mean, actually, indie animation does have like kind of a second life, or like there's some people doing well with indie animation, like on YouTube, like shows.
I haven't heard much about them.
Well, The Amazing Digital Circus, Has Been Hotel, Hell of a Boss. There are some people, outfits doing well, but like
Nick Park does okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's like I said, yeah. So there's a niche for it, but like it's
okay.
Yeah.
But you gotta, from what I hear, animation is so hard. It's such a bitch to do that
too.
It's probably not as hard to stand out as an indie animator as it is to be like an indie novelist. But maybe that's just me saying the grass is greener.
Yeah. The grass is greener on the other side. Much to think about. So yeah, has been Hotel got bought out by Amazon. So there's. And there's what was it? There's something about like 1920s bootleggers, but they're all cats.
That's Iron Circus.
Yeah, Iron Circus. Yeah, they have they're doing some cartoons with that. So
who I wish them only, always, and ever the best. If you haven't backed Iron Circus Kickstarter, go find one or buy some stuff from their store. I strong endorse.
What is it called?
Awesome. Also follow.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Also follow Iron Spike, their CEO, on social media, because she is just a force of nature.
Mm-hmm.
I have always worth reading.
I have watched that company be her webcomic printouts getting sold at conventions through so this Stolze guy did something called crowdfunding. I wonder if you could make money doing that with porn.
Mm-hmm.
To being the largest comics publisher in Chicago.
Yeah.
Also, according to stats that came out today, somebody did a survey of what different comics companies pay for covers. The answer is Marvel and DC are way down here. Iron Circus is at the top.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell the boss used to be is a cartoonist. Is mostly the boss of Iron Circus because she discovered something she likes better than cartooning, which is running a successful comics company.
And if you're an indie RPG publisher and you've got it's probably a lot cheaper to hire a Marvel or DC artist than you think. So go out and reach out to them. And, I'll give you
Alex Ross.
Yeah,
but,
well,
probably
not Alex Ross, but yeah.
There's probably you could poach some talent from DC. Wouldn't that be a little feather in your cap to be like, haha, I got this guy from Marvel, and now can you afford to eat more than ramen because of me?
and then you can write about it, and then you can put it in your Kickstarter, and it's something that people pay attention to, and the press will write about, and that's important because it makes you stand out. Anything that makes you stand out from the crowd when you're trying to promote your stuff is good.
Yep.
It's the worst. The age of promotion.
It's the Sigma grind set. We gotta
the age of promotion feels like eating a piece of my own death every day, though. It's just I don't like it. I don't like self-promotion. I should be a writer. I shouldn't have to be writer, illustrator, layout guy, publisher, marketing guy, and fulfillment guy. I shouldn't have to wear all these hats. I just want my one hat, maybe two.
Yeah.
But that's not the world we built.
Mm-mm. But Greg, have you considered being like this guy and waking up at 4 a.m. For your
No.
2-hour ritual of like there?
I have never considered being like any guy who wakes up at 4 a.m.
Yeah, no, he has his
I don't
bath.
believe 4 a.m.'s real.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. I've been to bed at 4 a.m. many times.
Yeah. But yeah, this is like this Sigma grind set influencers. Like this is what they want. Like ritualized, elaborate wake up rituals and morning routines, and like that's what will make you successful with this expensive bottled water. Like anyway, the world is ridiculous.
Over time.
Yeah, we are over time. So thank you all so much for
over time. Okay,
this has been great. It's been rambling madness, but it usually is.
March Madness.
I can finally go get this splinter pulled out. So
go do that.
Yeah, jeez, Greg. All right, well, thank you all so much for backing. We'll have a next episode up in the next week or two. I think I'm making some progress on it, and we're almost done with season 3. So yay!
Yeah, getting close.
Yes. So we'll talk to y'all later. Bye. I'm actually going to end the stream.